Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Gervonta Davis. A lot of questions about Gervonta Davis. And actually, about his newfound, what seems to be, attitude towards boxing, towards life, being his own man, growing, maturing, and really getting a second chance at life, okay? And he plans to start off 2023 with a different mentality, a different vision, and to not be in boxing longer than his shelf life. For those of you who are wondering why I'm saying that, right? I'm going to tell you this. Gervonta Davis was supposed to be in court December 12th. And I've been watching and waiting to see what was going to happen. For those of you who don't know, there was an incident, car accident. Gervonta, intoxicated, fled the scene. There were some people that injured. One of the victims happened to be a pregnant female. Anyway, was able to settle out of court with some of the victims. This one in particular held her ground. Female said she felt like him being on a unrestricted house arrest or something, right? She didn't feel that was enough. The judge agreed. They decided to have a 2-day trial starting December 12th. Well, December 12th passed, and everyone was doing videos and saying basically Gervonta Davis was going to the joint. I did a video too, saying it wasn't looking good for him because you got a female judge, you got this young lady who really seemed to be pouring it on thick. And Gervonta Davis, obviously, there was video footage and stuff like that. You know, it was impossible to get out of that situation. At least we thought. But as we got closer to the December date, we noticed Gervonta Davis, they started talking about fighting in January, fighting Ryan Garcia, and all these plans for 2023. Now, I caught it. And I was like, okay, something had to happen. But there has been nothing disclosed on what transpired between Gervonta Davis, that judge, and that victim, the female who was pregnant, who said she was begging him for help because she couldn't get out the vehicle and the vehicle was smoking. He looked her in the eyes and walked off. Okay? That was the killer to me. But I haven't heard anything about it. Now, I am glad that he was able to resolve it because I know a lot of us have made a lot of mistakes when we were younger. There's some of us who don't get caught. There's some of us who get caught. And then we immediately realize that, damn, God, please get me out of this situation. I'll never do that again. And sometimes you don't get that second chance. And then there are others who do something really stupid, get caught, but get a second chance, right? I've been in all three situations when I was younger. So when I started with Gervonta Davis, I was like, man, I hope he can get himself out of it. So I'm telling you right now that situation is done and over with. Gervonta didn't say it. Mayweather didn't say it. Ellaby didn't say it. One of Gervonta's associates didn't say it. But Calvin Ford, in a roundabout way, said that all of that stuff is over. Those weren't his exact words. What he said was, with Gervonta, he's getting older. He's becoming a man now. He said he could see he wants to do things differently. Now I'm paraphrasing. He talked about Mayweather. He said when Mayweather went through his stuff, he came out and got another chance, and look what he did. Turned things around. He never turned back. Calvin talked about all the issues and trials and tribulations he had, because he'd been to prison or jail. I don't want to say prison, but I know he's been locked up. Okay, he came out and decided to do things differently. So when he said that about Gervonta Davis, deciding to do things differently, and then having another opportunity, and when he was talking about Floyd Mayweather and himself, now what I took from that is Gervonta Davis dodged a bullet, and that bullet I'm talking about, he dodged jail time. I don't know what happened. I'm sure there's a gag order in place. But whatever it is, I am glad that he got another opportunity. What he did, look, we all know that shit was wrong. We all know, okay? But I'm glad to see him get another opportunity. Because if he would have gone to jail, facing multiple years, right? Now the fortunate thing is no one died. Now, if somebody would have died or something like that, he'd be out of here. But that's not the case. But fortunately, no one died, and he was able to get another opportunity. Because if it didn't work out that way, man, his career would be over. The trajectory he's on, everything would just collapse. So that being said, when you see him now with this newfound energy, breaking away from Mayweather, breaking away from Ellerby, he felt some changes were necessary. And I'm glad he's doing what he's doing. If you listen to him now, he's like, he doesn't plan to be in boxing much longer. Look at his hit list. Hector Garcia first up. That is not an easy fight. Then Ryan Garcia. After Ryan Garcia, he wants Tank. He wants Shakur. He wants Teofimo. He wants everyone. He wants everyone. Like, he's not here to get into tickling contests with anyone. So he wants to get in there, fight, build his legacy, prove he's the big dog, and after a couple of years, he may sail off into the sunset. Because Tank Davis is a star. Also, if you look, he seems to be having fun. You guys ever been in a situation where you feel like there's a lot of weight on your shoulders? Like there's a dark cloud hovering above you, and you just can't get from underneath it? Whether you've had debt, whether you had a court date, whether you get some other stressors in your life, it just seems like, man, there's no outlet here. I need help. And then you finally get that burden removed. It's like, take a deep breath and breathe again. And that's what Tank Davis, that's what he's doing. If you watch him, they look happy. Even his corner, guys in his team, joking with Hector Garcia's camp, wanting to make $50,000 bets on the fight. Excuse me. Want to make $50,000 bets on the fight. Having fun. But legit bets, you know what I'm saying? Having fun. Put your mouth where your money is. Put your money where your mouth is. No less than $50,000. Do you believe for real or fake? And that's good to see. You watch Tank Davis and what he's talking about. Him and Earl Spence, good friends. But Earl Spence mentioned Frank Martin fighting Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis said, look, careful what you say, you're going to get him hurt. Like last time. So obviously, something happened with Tank and somebody over there near the Spence, where Tank probably put that death by left hand on him. Furthermore, you look at Tank and Ryan Garcia. Now, I still think he needs to be careful here. But when he talks about Ryan Garcia and the juicing, or saucing, he's having fun. But he's serious as a heart attack about what he's saying about Garcia. And I think we should be paying attention because there's no proof of Ryan Garcia being on any pads or juice or anything. But when your own promoter comes out and says he thinks Ryan Garcia is making a mistake by not taking a stay busy fight in preparation for the biggest fight of his career, Tank Davis. Now, I'm going to tell all of y'all this, right? What person who has a huge event coming up, whether you have a presentation, whether you're going to run a marathon, whether you're playing basketball, whatever it is, right? There's something you have to deliver at a certain time. What person wouldn't want to put the necessary work in to ensure they're prepared when that time comes? Who wouldn't want to make sure they're going to be able to perform to their potential by putting the legwork in, putting the work in, so they can deliver on that day? When it comes to boxing, their preparations are necessary. It doesn't matter what it is where you have a deliverable due. There are certain preparations that have to get done. Ryan Garcia in boxing. So there's two things we need to look at here. The juicing and all that, whatever, right? But why would a boxer like Ryan Garcia, someone who's been boxing since he's been a kid, been around the sport for a while, and understands the importance of getting that ring rust off, prying those barnacles off of you, right? He understands the importance of that. But why would you not want to do that going into the biggest fight of your career? So there's two things that concerns me with that. One, he's either going to start training now and train all the way up until when their fight is scheduled, which is towards the middle of the year, which could lead to burnout, which could lead to, unnecessary soreness. And it could ultimately lead to him taking a loss to Tank Davis, which I think he's going to lose anyway, but he makes it even easier for Tank, right? The second thing is he doesn't put in the work, and then he comes now towards the tail end, 3 months out or whatever, a 12-week camp, and he starts to work, but he gets in the ring and he's rusty. Let me tell you, there's only so much sparring you can do. And you can't spar for 6 months straight. There's only so much resting you can do. Like the body, when you're really active, right? Even in your joints and stuff, in order for that to remain lubricated and stuff, you have to be active. You have to be doing things. You can't just come from being an active boxer to just becoming inactive and deciding to become active again 12 weeks before a fight and think you're going to peak and put forth an optimal performance. That's not how that works. That's where you're more prone to injury, etc. Now, Ryan's a professional. He has a great team, so I'm sure they know what they're doing. But it just makes me wonder, why in the world would he choose not to fight his opponent? Now, we all know Earl Spence doesn't believe in tune-ups. The whole Lions only camp don't believe in tune-ups. So maybe Ryan Garcia is benchmarking their approach to fights. Forget a tune-up. Or maybe he really is trying to get off of something. When you see somebody hit people the way Ryan Garcia does, there are some guys with that kind of power. But then, at the same time, when you see a person's behavior, like Ryan Garcia, choosing not to take a tune-up fight, that, for the most part, contradicts majority of past champions who are going into the biggest fight of their life. Majority of them have chose to have a stay busy fight. And to see Ryan Garcia not do that, you can't help but understand why Gervonta Davis feels Ryan Garcia may be on that sauce. So they went back and forth on Twitter. Don't know if you saw it. Pretty entertaining. But they both hit each other with some low blows. Ryan Garcia said some pretty pretty crazy things, but so did Tank. But the bottom line is, I'm looking forward to those guys fighting. But what I'm really happy about is to see Tank being independent, kind of navigating his own ship, you know, and the direction he wants his career to go. Mayweather even came out and he said he likes to see people grow, and he's glad to see Tank go out there, become his own man, and grow. And Mayweather can't hate on Tank. Mayweather showed Tank what it takes to be a pay-per-view star while being an active fighter and to continue being a pay-per-view star once you retire. So for Tank Davis, the biggest thing for me is I'm glad he got beyond all that court crap because it wasn't looking good for him. I don't know any specifics of what happened between him, that girl, and the judge. But what I do know, according to his trainer, Calvin Ford, Tank is looking at life totally different now because he received an opportunity that most people don't get. And I'm going to make an assumption here, and I think if you're still with me during this video, hopefully you subscribe, but I think you would agree. Money talks. And that young lady who chose to still push for a court date, maybe she was just holding tight to see just how much money she can get out of Tank Davis. And that could be what ended up happening. That's what I believe. Because the whole thing to just go away like that, not for something like that. All over the news, all over TMZ, internationally being broadcasted, Tank Davis and all this crap. Now, mum's the word. Nothing being mentioned. And I hate that he had to go through that, but I'm glad that he got through it. And I hate that those victims had to go through that too, because that's horrible, man. But bottom line, Tank, he has a plan. He's calling out all the big names. Tank's not here to look for tickling contests. He wants to fight everyone. He wants legacy. And if he can get through Hector Garcia with flying colors, he goes on to Ryan Garcia, gets through him with flying colors. Let me tell you, man, Tank's profile is going to tenfold. The type of money Tank's making is going to tenfold. So he's betting on himself. And that's what a lot of these younger fighters should do, bet on yourself. That being said, for those of you who are following Tank Davis, the man is in the clear. No one's giving all the specifics away. They're not disclosing that. But if you listen to the video that Coach Ford did, it's called Coach Ford Reacts to Gervonta Davis Claim Ryan Garcia's Juicing. He did it with Fight Hype. It's a 3-minute and 56-second clip. Watch that video and listen to what he says. And you're going to pick up the same, and let me know what you picked up. But I'm glad Tank Davis isn't going to the joint. I'm glad it's all uphill from here. And I hope he doesn't end up dealing with people and ending up in situations that could derail his boxing career, like what almost happened to him with this court case and this car accident. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans. Shout out to all 7 continents. In the breeze.